So here's a quick lawn update for you while I have the opportunity. So I've been going around looking at the yard in the back, and I've noticed that I've been getting these light green patches of looks like some kind of grassy weed. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
What the hell is even that?
But as you can see, it's a lighter green than all the other grass around it. I don't believe this is crabgrass, as it's I think it still might be a little too cool for crabgrass to start growing, but it could be. But what I'm thinking that it is that this came in with my topsoil and sand that I had spread back here. So I haven't noticed it anywhere else in the yard, well, in the front yard. I have noticed it in sporadic places throughout the back, so that's what makes me think that this is actually from the soil that I put out. So just because you see some weeds inside your yard doesn't necessarily mean it came from your grass. The grass seed you put down, it could most likely also be from the soil that you might have disturbed or had brought in. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So with these, there's not really a spray that I necessarily would use on this. This is more kind of pull by hand. So as you can see, I have a kind of a clump right here as well. So I have a whole bunch over in one of the areas over on the side. So basically all you do with these are pretty shallow roots. So I kind of go around the whole area, make sure I get the whole thing in my hand, or as much of it as I can, and kind of just pull it out. So I don't use any kind of herbicide for this. This is just getting down into the soil and pulling it out by the roots. So just pull slowly, it'll all come out. These are pretty shallow roots, as you can see. So it doesn't really take much pulling to get this out, and you don't necessarily have to dig it out, but I mean, this grows a lot faster than the other grass that's around it. So as I said, I don't know of any kind of herbicide that'll take care of this. This is more just getting down and pull it out by hand, so that's what I'm going to do. I have some weeds that are growing around in some areas around the tree bases and along the property line over here by the fence that I'm going to be taking care of. Just want to give you kind of a quick update as to what we're working with here. This is after the ammonium sulfate, so it's looking really good. Some of these patchy areas are kind of starting to, I guess, almost disappear because of how long the grass is getting. But as you can see along the fence lines over here, I have some weeds we need to take care of. Here's another one right there. So coming up, we'll go ahead and mix up probably some speed zone and tenacity to take care of most of this. This is what I pulled out so far. It's not very much, but you know, it stands out in a dark green lawn when you have clusters of lighter colored grass. So I don't know if this is some kind of field grass or what, but this is what I found in the yard, pulled it out, and so when you pull it out, make sure you get all the roots with whatever come with it. I'm sure I'll find more in the next couple of weeks coming up, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out while I see them. So you saw in the clip from earlier, I have a couple broadleaf weeds and some invasive weeds I need to take care of that are in the yard. I don't have very many of them. I have a couple of them, so I don't need to necessarily do a blanket spray application. What I'm going to do is basically mix these different items into this 1-gallon pump sprayer that I got from Walmart for about 10 bucks. So if you have just some spot spraying you need to do, I wouldn't recommend going through and blanket spraying your whole property. I really recommend going through, just getting one of these little cheap gallon sprayers and then grabbing your different weed killers that you need and then mixing them inside there. I have one of these tank sprayers for my glyphosate, and then I have another one that I use just for selective herbicides like this. So these come in really handy. I don't necessarily want to use my 4-gallon backpack sprayer just to do some spot spraying. Also, I don't really like mixing chemicals to kill weeds with my backpack sprayer that I usually use to spread fertilizers and humic acid and whatnot, so I try to keep them separate, which is why I have just this 1-gallon multi-purpose sprayer that I got from Walmart. So the first thing we're going to be putting into this pump sprayer is going to be about a tablespoon of Tenacity. Tenacity is a pretty good all-around killer, so I typically like to use that mixed with another type of herbicide. That way I can complete a broad spectrum of weed control. So Tenacity is kind of expensive in the name brand by itself, so if you're looking for something similar, I would go with Miso Trione. It's a little bit cheaper, it does the same thing, it's just the generic version of Tenacity. After Tenacity, we're going to be going ahead and adding the speed zone. So this works really well. I basically go 1 ounce per 1,000. This also kills different weeds. This has 2,4-D in it, as well as some other weed control ingredients such as dicamba. So this also takes care of some other things on the spectrum that Tenacity won't take care of. So basically I mix the two together, so that way, like I said, I cover a broad spectrum of weed control and I don't have to go do different applications for basically the same results. And as you know, my tried and true baby shampoo, I'm gonna use this as a surfactant. This just helps the herbicide stick to the plant's leaves a little bit better. And that will all get mixed into this 1 gallon pump hand sprayer that I have. Like I said, it's $10. I keep all my different chemicals separate. I don't like mixing everything into my backpack sprayer. So I'm just doing spot spraying, so this will work just fine. So I added all those ingredients into this 1 gallon pump sprayer. So now we're gonna be ready to go ahead and do our applications. So here you can either use glyphosate or you can use your selective herbicide. I think with the driveways, I'm gonna go ahead and use glyphosate since it's cheaper than these other methods. So what I'm looking at here is going to be taken care of with glyphosate. I already have a mix already done up in the back, so I'll go ahead and spray that out here in a minute. But let's go take a look and see what we got in the backyard that we're going to have to spray. So as you see over here, I have these weeds over here that are on my neighbor, facing my property line. So I'm going to take care of these over here in this area. So we'll go ahead and use our mix that we had done, and we'll go ahead and spray these. It doesn't take very much, just a nice even coating. And it'll do. So you want to do this on a not too windy day. I mean, obviously it's going to be always windy here in Kansas, but I deal with what I got. So I'm going to go and spray some of these weeds out. Also, you want to let this sit on the plant for a good couple of hours. You don't want to, do this right before you run an irrigation cycle. So keep that in mind when you go ahead and do your applications. So as I said, it doesn't take much to go ahead and coat these. So you just go ahead and give it a quick spray. Spray whatever you can reach. And give a little bit of extra low over here since I don't want this coming over my yard. And that really does it. It really doesn't take very much. So just, as long as you can see the product on the leaf blades, you'll be good to go. It'll stick on there because of the baby shampoo. So I'm gonna go around and do this to the rest of the weeds, and then I'll check out with you. So here's another weed that popped up. So as I said, you basically just take your wand, give it a quick spray. That's it. Just kind of let it go and watch it die. All right, so that's gonna do it for today's episode. So we went through, we killed a whole bunch of weeds. So basically what we did was we mixed up some Tenacity and some Speed Zone. And basically what we did was we mixed up a gallon, and we're gonna have that on hand pretty much all season. So that way, if I ever come across any weeds while I'm mowing, I can just run in the garage and grab that bottle real quick and just spray them down. So that way, to go and mix it, try to remember where it's at, and then apply the product. So kind of getting ahead of the game on this one. So did the same thing with glyphosate. I did that the other day. So basically it's just the glyphosate concentrate that I use for when I did my yard renovation. So I just mixed that also in its own 1 gallon container, and I made sure to label both of them, one as glyphosate, the other one as selective herbicide, so I don't get the two mixed up. So I also did come through with the glyphosate and glyphosate the driveway over here to get most of these unwanted weed or unwanted grasses that are growing probably from the renovation when I was spreading out grass seed. So that's going to conclude today's episode. So if you learned something, please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. I'm almost getting to 1,000 subs, trying to hit that as soon as possible. I'm pretty excited. Kind of went from really no one watching these videos to almost 1,000 subscribers, so I'm pretty happy about that, and I have to thank all you guys for that. So again, thank you for watching the videos and subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.